So, as you heard, my name's Robert, or Rob, as most people call me. I've been a winemaker for 27 years, almost. Been with Leal for right about 13 years. Leal started in the county in 94, if I'm remembering my history correctly. Planted the first vineyard in 97 and had our first official release in 2001. Obviously you can see surrounded by vineyards here. So we grow about 5 different varieties here. We have a second vineyard up in Morgan Hill called Mohai Ranch. We grow 2 different varieties up there and we share them across both wineries. We as a company as a whole, so the winemaking part of it, pretty small. We're only doing about 5,000 cases a year. And we do that all direct to consumer sales. We're not in grocery stores, we're not in wine shops or anything like that. That's just too much of a racket. We don't really need to play that game anymore. So we've got a decent, robust wine club. We to our own restaurants. We have lots of weddings that people love to get drunk at and enjoy our product. You talk about saving lives. Well, we're not really saving lives, but I would like to think we're kind of enriching or
making lives
them more
probably.
entertaining. Not just through the wine, but also through providing weddings or come out here, play some bocce ball, have a good time with some friends. I want people to be able to come and hang out and have a good time. So within the winery part of it, like I said, we're kind of a small winery. Few employees. There's me and a couple other people. The teams around us, we get up to about 25, 30 people. When you start including all our weddings and such, we have our full banquet staff, all our catering chefs and all that. We get, anywhere between 100 to 150. You include our Morgan Hill branch, now we're north of 200. So our entire portfolio, much bigger. The winery part of it, really, really small. But it's enough to do all the business that we want to do. Like I said, we do about 5,000 cases a year. Mix of red and white. We do a little bit of sparkling. We have a really good port dessert wine, if anyone fancies a slightly sweeter product. And we do it all in-house. Everything's done out of this property. We do a little bit of production in our Morgan Hill branch, but that's just, to allow us to keep our permit. We don't want to have, duplicate sets of very expensive equipment. So we do a little bit up there, store everything down here. We purchase all our glass, corks, foils, all that kind of stuff. It's a mix of import and local production. Really just depends on, quality and what's cheap. We don't want to, glass prices have gone through the roof in the last few years. So we're always shopping prices, but Bay Area, Southern California seems to be where most producers are coming from. So if we can buy in the US, we will. Otherwise, China is usually cheaper. But that's the game. All our corks come from Portugal because that's where they grow. It comes from a tree. I don't know if anyone's familiar with the cork production, but it's actually the bark of a specific tree, and historically all grown in Portugal. So the industry still predominantly gets all their corks from Portugal. So do we. And then the capsules, that could be produced anywhere, so local. That's kind of the basic for my part of it. The vineyard part, we have a team of people that takes care of our vineyard. I deal with them a little bit, only to make sure that there's taking care of my grapes that are going to produce the good wine. And you can't make good wine from bad grapes, but I can surely mess up good grapes. So try not to do that. We only grow about 50 to 60 tons worth of fruit here, another 15 to 20 up in Morgan Hill, and then we'll pull in maybe 20 to 30 tons from a few other places. Things like Pinot, Chardonnay don't really grow very well here, so we'll go to the coast and pick them up from there. San Lucia Highlands, Piscinus, cooler climates, better fruit. So, but things like Cab, we're surrounded by Cab right here. That hillside over there, that's kind of terraced, that's Cabernet Franc. Over by our lake and where our waterfall is, that's actually a field blend we use to make our threesome wine. So over there you'll have Syrah, Grenache, and Mourvedre in small quantities, but we pick it all together to make the one wine. And then we have a little bit of Chardonnay and a little bit more Cab as you kind of go up our road here. Yeah, that's kind of Leal Vineyards in a nutshell. Anyone got any questions about